What if your clutter is secretly holding your mind hostage? Not just your space, your thoughts, your time, your sanity. Sturmfrei minimalism isn't a German design trend. It's a rebellion. A 200-year-old philosophy where solitude meets ruthless simplicity to dismantle the invisible cages modern life builds around your focus. By the end of this video, you'll have 7 systems to weaponize your aloneness, not just to declutter, but to detonate the noise stealing your mental clarity. Let's get radical. Most minimalism videos preach less stuff. But Sturmfrei, literally storm-free, targets the storms inside. The mental static from outdated routines, half-finished goals, and relationships that drain more than they give. I've reverse-engineered this obscure European philosophy into 7 solo living systems. No fluff, no aesthetic shelves, just battle-tested frameworks to transform isolation into innovation, silence into strategy, and empty space into exponential clarity. If you're ready to stop living alone and start commanding your solitude, let's begin. Modern solitude is a paradox. You're alone, yet drowning in pings, screens, and the phantom buzz of what if I'm missing out. Sturmfrei minimalism flips this. Its first system, * the 24-hour silence protocol *, isn't about muting the world. It's about surgically removing every optional voice in your environment for one day to expose the hidden architecture of your distractions. Here's how it works. For 24 hours, you eliminate all non-essential inputs. No podcasts, no background music, no scrolling, no quick checks. Just you, your essentials, and raw silence. This isn't deprivation, it's a diagnostic tool. Within hours, your mind starts projecting its unresolved noise, unmet goals, half-baked ideas, relationships that need boundaries. Ancient Stoics called this hesychia, a stillness that forces you to confront what's actually cluttering your mental space. But here's the twist. Sturmfrei's protocol requires physical action during the silence. Clean a shelf, sketch a floor plan, cook without a recipe. The goal isn't productivity. It's to reveal how much of your busyness is just filler for the voids you've refused to face. By hour 18, most people discover their real clutter isn't in their homes. It's in their avoidance mechanisms. This system isn't new. 19th century European scholars used storm-free days to reset their focus during solitary research. They'd emerge with sharper priorities, having deleted the noise that masqueraded as necessity. Your turn. Every item, habit, or commitment you allow into your space is a silent negotiator. It demands time, attention, or mental bandwidth. Sturmfrei minimalism's threshold rule turns your front door, literal and metaphorical, into a merciless filter. Inspired by ancient European monastic cells, this system forces one question: does this serve my clarity or dilute it? Most minimalists declutter reactively, waiting for mess to accumulate. The threshold rule attacks clutter proactively. Before anything crosses your doorstep or inbox or calendar, it must pass 3 tests. Utility: does it solve a recurring problem? Sovereignty: does it respect my focus? And timelessness: will I still value this in a year? Fail one test, and it's barred entry. This isn't just for physical objects. Apply it to relationships. If a conversation leaves you mentally fragmented for hours, it violated the threshold. Use it for digital noise, that urgent notification. If it doesn't align with your priorities, it's a trespasser. The magic lies in its simplicity. Medieval scribes working in isolation used similar gates, only allowing tools and texts that directly serve their manuscripts. By week 2 of practicing the threshold rule, you'll notice a shift. Less defending your focus, more commanding it. Your space becomes a curated fortress, not a storage unit for societal shoulds. Multitasking is a myth, one that's cost you 23 minutes of recovery time per interruption. Sturmfrei minimalism's monotask chamber weaponizes your environment to hack this flaw. Borrowed from 17th century European polymaths, this system designates one physical zone for one type of work. No exceptions, no compromises. Here's the science. Your brain links locations to behaviors. Sleep in bed. Your mind knows. Work from the couch? It's confused. The monotask chamber erases this ambiguity. Choose a corner, a desk, even a windowsill. Assign it a single purpose: writing, sketching, meal prepping. Then, strip everything unrelated from that space. No charging cables in your reading nook. No notebooks in your meditation zone. This isn't just spatial minimalism, it's cognitive warfare. Renaissance philosophers like Spinoza famously worked in a single room, shifting chairs to signal task changes. Your brain, untethered from visual clutter, stops wasting energy on context switching. Over time, entering the chamber triggers instant focus, like a pianist touching keys they've played for decades. Test it with something mundane, a bill-paying stool. Sit there only to manage finances. Within weeks, your mind will associate that spot with efficiency, cutting a 45-minute chore to 10. The chamber doesn't demand more discipline. It engineers it into your environment. Possessions aren't static. They're alive with memory, obligation, and what-ifs. Sturmfrei Minimalism's Ephemeral Inventory confronts this by treating every object as a temporary guest, not a permanent resident. Rooted in the practices of nomadic scholars who carried only what fit on horseback, this system forces a brutal question. Does this still earn its place in my life today? Most decluttering methods fixate on past utility or future hypotheticals. The ephemeral inventory rejects both. Once a month, you audit one category, tools, clothes, even apps, and remove anything not actively serving your current mission. Not might use someday. Not was expensive. Not gifted by X. If it's not fueling clarity right now, it's released. Medieval scribes perfected this. They owned only the inks, quills, and parchments needed for their current manuscript. Finished a project? Surplus supplies were traded or discarded. No sentimental hoarding. Your turn. That juicer collecting dust? It's not a kitchen tool, it's a guilt anchor. The ephemeral inventory isn't ruthless, it's reverent. It honors your present focus by refusing to chain it to yesterday's ambitions. The result? A space that evolves as dynamically as your mind. Less custodianship of dead weight, more sovereignty over what matters. Chaos thrives in ambiguity. Sturmfrei Minimalism's anchor object method combats this by assigning unshakable purpose to 5 or fewer possessions. Items so essential, they become tactile reminders of your priorities. Unlike sentimental keepsakes, these anchors are chosen for their ability to generate clarity, not nostalgia. Here's the rule. Select 1 to 3 objects that embody your core focus. A chef's knife if cooking grounds you. A worn journal if writing is your lifeline. A folding stool if mobility defines your freedom. These anchors must pass 2 tests: functionality, used daily, and symbolism, viscerally tied to your purpose. Everything else, negotiable. This isn't theoretical. 19th century explorers surviving months in isolation relied on this principle. A botanist's magnifying glass, a cartographer's compass. Their anchors weren't just tools, they were psychological lifelines, cutting through the fog of uncertainty. Your modern anchors work the same. That minimalist wristwatch? It's not just a timepiece, it's a rebellion against digital distraction. The handmade ceramic bowl you eat from? A daily reminder to savor simplicity. The magic happens when you design your day around these anchors. Each use becomes a ritual, reinforcing focus. Over time, they act as keystones. Remove one, and your entire system falters. But choose wisely. Anchors that don't align with your true priorities become dead weight. Society trains you to hoard possessions, relationships, digital files, as if scarcity is a threat. Sturmfrei Minimalism flips this script with the Permissionless Purge, a system that grants you absolute authority to discard anything that fragments your focus, no justifications needed. This isn't decluttering, it's reclaiming sovereignty over your attention. Historically, hermits and ascetics mastered this. They didn't ask permission to abandon societal norms. They vanished into the wilderness with only what sustained their purpose. Your modern wilderness? Mental clarity. The rule is simple. If an item, app, or obligation triggers hesitation, friction, or guilt, purge it immediately. Not tomorrow. Not after one last use. Now, this system thrives on urgency. That half-read book guilting you from the shelf? Gone. The group chat that drains your energy? Exited. The someday project materials? Recycled. Unlike traditional minimalism, which demands lengthy pros/cons lists, the permissionless purge trusts your instinctive no. Medieval mystics called this discretio spirituum, the discernment of spirits. You're not being reckless. You're honoring your intuition as the ultimate authority. The result? A cascading effect. Each purge weakens the invisible chains of should and maybe, freeing up cognitive bandwidth for what truly matters. Your space becomes a mirror of your mind. Sharp, intentional, unapologetically yours. Every system you've built can crumble without one final piece, a binding pact with yourself. Sturmfrei Minimalism's Clarity Covenant is a non-negotiable agreement, written, signed, and revisited monthly, that locks your solitude into a lifelong practice of focus. This isn't a goal list or vision board. It's a stark reminder. What will you sacrifice to protect your mental sovereignty? The covenant has 3 pillars. Boundaries. Physical, no uninvited guests. Digital, no unscheduled notifications. And emotional, no unexamined relationships. Renewal, a quarterly solstice where you audit all 7 systems, discarding what no longer serves. Legacy, a single question. If I died tomorrow, would my space reflect my priorities or my compromises? Asked daily. This concept isn't new. Medieval monks drafted rules of life, vows that governed everything from mealtimes to speech, to guard their contemplative solitude. Your covenant modernizes this. It's not about rigidity. It's about creating a feedback loop where your environment enforces your values. For example, if your covenant bans work emails after 7 p.m., your devices physically leave your space at 6:55. No willpower needed, the system acts for you. The Clarity Covenant turns fleeting habits into unbreakable architecture. Sign it. Seal it. Let it be the silent enforcer that transforms living alone into thriving alone. The storm is over. You're no longer a prisoner of clutter, half-hearted commitments, or the myth that solitude means loneliness. Sturmfrei minimalism isn't about living with less. It's about commanding more focus, more freedom, more uncompromising clarity. These 7 systems aren't tips, they're a manifesto, a blueprint to turn your space into a rebellion against everything that scatters your mind. But this is just the beginning. If you're ready to go deeper, I've crafted entire playlists dissecting how to dismantle societal traps and rebuild your life, like Microtopia, transforming tiny spaces into massive freedom, and Hollow Era, crushing digital overload. Dive into those next. Hit subscribe if you're done playing defense against chaos. Every Thursday, I drop systems like these. No fluff, just actionable rebellion. Ring the bell so you don't miss it. And if this video reshaped how you see solitude, let me know in the comments with 1 emoji. High voltage for I'm storm-free. Old key for give me the keys to more. Your clarity isn't a luxury, it's a right. Guard it fiercely. I'll see you in the next video.